Well, it's time for a little more tricky joinery here. So I broke apart the capitals or tops of the quarter columns that go here. And this is one that I made. This is what we're going to make here from the practice one. So it's got this slant and 45 and then a flat down here, and it fits here like so, and it's the top, the capital or the top of the quarter column, and it finishes when we cut the slope from the top up here. We have to cut this as well. So what I did was I saved the piece that I cut off from here, and that's this piece here, so that I wanted the best match of the grain that I could get. So it goes here, and as you can see, I drew the line there, and the slope goes back here and then flattens out. So that'll be the capital. So we got 7/16 of an inch too much on here, so that's what has to be taken off to leave the 13/16 that are on the side there. I did the same thing on the other side over there, so those were the two when they were glued together like so. Well, I've shaped the two pieces. Here's the other one over here and on the other side, and this is this one on this side. So I've got the quarter column forming stick in there at the moment, and then this goes here like so. And that'll be glued in, and that's a pretty good fit. So then the quarter column goes there. I don't have a spare quarter column at the moment, but that's where it would go. And then the slope, we'll cut it from the top down to about here. Well, I forgot to film while I was shaping this particular corner, and what I thought I would do is just go over what I did. So this was the block of 4 that I turned, and I split off 2, and then this line here was the traced the slope of the front. So what I did when they were still square, I traced the pattern on the back here, and then I ran it through the table saw down as far as I could to create a nice straight edge along that side there. Eventually it got sawed off. I did that with a handsaw, but so what I did is I used a saw, and I sawed like cutting dovetails along this line here as far as I could go. You can see the saw mark there, and likewise I sawed it in this direction as far as I could go, and then with a chisel I just chopped out the waist and pared it down flush behind it. Now this is not real pretty back here, but it fits the corner. So that's how I got both of them done. Well, I'm cleaning up the mortises for the dividers for what will be the center drawer on the underside of the writing surface, as well as a divider for the loopers, which run in here between the quarter columns and the center drawer. So I made this divider, which is 3.5 inches high, which is the height of the center drawer as well as what will be the loper. And mortised, this is the top of the first divider, drawer divider. And so I did this with a dado set and leaving myself some 1/2 inch tenons here by 3/8 of an inch deep. And right way. And you want them to fit in there nice. It's not deep enough. Needs to be deeper. However, we can fix that. Well, I've cut the slope here on the sides, and I'm sorry I didn't film it when I did make the cut, but I did it on my radial arm saw by clamping both sides together and laying it flat on the radial arm saw and then running the saw blade along the slope until I had it right. And it was just one cut. So now the reason we did that was so that I could cut the little pieces here that are on both corners and match the slope. So what I'm doing here is that it's clamped up here where it's going to be glued, and I ran a straight edge along the slope and ran my pencil along this line here, and so that's where I'm going to make the cut. Had to cut it. The other was that we have to cut the top. So we'll go over here and look at the edge. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a little pencil line right here. So we've got to cut the top along this slope here, and then we got to cut after that, cut it perpendicular going back in that way so that we can put a lock on the inside of the lid, so that we've got those two cuts to make. So that was the next step. So I've got the marks on here now. So this line here is the slope, the line of the slope that I traced when it was put together. And then this line here is perpendicular to that, to the slope line. So now I'm going to cut it on the table saw, and you have to cut this one first. You stand it on end, tilt the blade over, and then cut this. Then you can lay it flat, tilt the blade again, and pick up that slope. If you do them the opposite way, then you're kind of in trouble, because if you cut this off, then you'd only have a point to rest it on. So there we have it, gluing up the carcass here, and lots of clamps and lots of weights and glue. So we've got it square at the moment. There you have it.